on the one hand, we have the toughest gun laws in the world. The procedure to get a gun licence is quite rigorous. I mean, you have to carry out interviews, visit a person's home, obtain character references, carry out a criminal record check and contacting the family GP. And in fact, if someone gets a licence, I understand they must consent to sharing medical information with the police in order for them to be assured that everything's OK. And so it's not that the checks on paper aren't there, but it's how they're being assessed, how they're being enforced. And of course, from what do we understand, Esther, this was a renewal. Is there a sort of, almost like a bit of a pass on this? However, I mean, as Duncan said and others have reported, there were a lot of red flags showing up. Well, the assault allegation in September, the removal of his licence, his mother and others raising concerns about his mental health. One would have thought that would be enough. And then on top of everything else, I was reading this morning, he actually was told to go on an anger management course, which apparently he attended, in order for his licence to be renewed. Look, I mean, we're all listening to bits of this at the moment, but I find it difficult to understand how someone could have a gun licence when they are going on anger management courses.
And I think if they were meant to be doing checks with, people who knew him, character references with the family, well, the mum had said, I'm concerned about my son. She begged the NHS and the police, because of during lockdown, his mental health, she could think things were going wrong. The dad had also said, I have concerns. So we're wondering, who did they do these checks and verifications? And like you said, this will all come out. But at the end of the day, what a lot of damage can be done. 12 minutes is all this went on for. And it was a pump action shotgun. And what do you need that for? So what is the sports or the shooting that you need that for? The guy was 22, and if it's surely a timeline, as you said, of the incidents in September, of his mental health, of things being questioned, surely that should raise a flag. And we were just discussing earlier, instead of just a renewal of a licence, when things like this have gone on, surely you have to start from afresh to get a licence.
I mean, the other background to this man who's committed these murders is his involvement in this thing that I didn't really know much about, Incel, which is people are on a forum, it's called involuntary celibacy. I mean, basically, there is a community out there, a global community, which he was part of men who, frustrated, angry, aggressive at the fact that they haven't got sexual partners, seem to reinforce each other's prejudices, anger and resentment online, and they are being radicalised. And this poses a big question for our security services about, we think about radicalisation, terrorism in quite a confined space, but whether it's extremes on, the different sides of politics, but also in this case, a man who's part of a group in which his own frustrations are reinforced. They apparently have different codes for the level of anger and also in terms of inciting, I would suggest, this sort of aggressive, violent, murderous behaviour.
And it isn't new, this either. This same group in 2014 had that Elliot Rodgers in California, where he went the university campus nearby and shot a load of people there too. So it's not unknown. And then people are asking, why did it take YouTube 18 hours after the massacre to remove his strange sort of ramblings online?
He had his own YouTube channel where he was ranting about his frustrations, aggressions, and
there were so many alarm bells there.
Towards women.
And this, again, is what we're talking about. The internet can do lots of good, we know that, but it can also bring together people who really should be getting some sort of positive help, and they weren't. They were going down a dark tunnel, as you say, of hatred, of violence, and just going sort of darker and darker.
And legitimising them.
Themselves in one way or another. Look, this, we will bring you news as it's